my niece and her 3 young children started coming regularly because they've been in the flat lockdown, so it's been quite hard. And I've got quite a nice garden, so they've been coming and having regular sort of time in the garden and some food together. But the little one's birthday's coming up, and it would be really nice if they could have a couple of friends. Are we allowed to have another family with a couple of children join us in the garden for a birthday party?
Mike, it's another bubble question, I think.
It certainly is, yes. So if you have a look at the hi Jane, by the way, if you have a look at the guidance, it says how many people am I allowed to meet up with outdoors. You can meet in groups of up to 6 people who you don't live with or who are not in your support bubble. So it would have to be a fairly tame party, I would say, Jane.
It's mummy and 2 children extra.
Then I would say probably yes, as long as it's outdoors.
It will be outdoors, yeah. They'll have their paddling pool and their ball pit out on the lawn.
Oh, it sounds delightful. Up to 6 people, yes, you should be fine.
Okay.
You'll have to obviously take the usual caveats with that. Try and be safe, hand sanitation, social distancing where possible. As with all of these things, common sense, I think, is the term that's been bandied about quite a lot. Just be safe with it, I'd say.
Jane,
Okay,
will there be cake?
I hope so, yes. I hope so. I've been instructed to make chocolate.
Ice cream, jelly?
Yes, there'll be ice. They're not so keen on jelly, but they're ice cream. They're ice cream, squirty cream, and raspberry coulis they like.
Sounds like a good time. I'm glad you can have it, Jane. Thank you for calling in. 0345 6060 973 if you have a question about the rules and the laws and how they pertain to you and your life. Here's another question. This is for you, Mike. I guess we live in rural West Sussex. My son wants to hold a mini festival in our field in September for 80 people. What do you think of the chances of this being legal by then? I mean, I can feel that. No. Very unlikely, but you're the expert, Mike.
I think you're right. So, on the government's website, I mean, there's questions about the legality of it anyway, but in terms of large groups, any other gatherings in an outdoor space or in a private home must not be larger than 30 people, and that is on the basis that whatever you're doing is COVID secure, you have the appropriate permission to do so, and that you fit into a specific category. So whether it's a business or a venue with COVID secure guidelines, it certainly wouldn't be allowed on a private home or private land. I would imagine it would have to be a registered business of sort to do that, and even then the limit is 30. So yeah.
All right, thanks, Mike. Daniel Bevan will answer your question if you're in Wales. Phil McDonald can help you in Scotland. And here's a question for you, Phil. I live in Surrey and I'd like to visit my 81-year-old mother in Scotland. Is this possible?
I think the short answer to that is yes, as long as the conditions are met, which is that a maximum of 8 people from up to 3 different households are indoors, and it's up to 15 people outdoors. But as long as there's no change between now and the time you travel, then yes, that is possible.
Another one for you, Phil. This is from Stephen. I'm planning a trip from Liverpool to Edinburgh in 2 weeks' time. The train will change at Manchester Oxford Road, and I'll be there for 6 minutes before getting on to another train. It sounds like one of these maths problems I can never answer.
It does, yeah.
I'll be there for 6 minutes before getting another train to Edinburgh. My question is, if the train is going at 56 miles an hour, what time? No, it's not that. Would this cause me any problems, providing Liverpool doesn't go into a lockdown?
So Liverpool to Edinburgh, fine. However, I think the second that you enter Manchester, it becomes slightly more complicated. My guess would be, and this is purely a guess, is that you would be fine as long as you didn't leave the train station. I think the lockdown in Manchester only really applies to people that live there and are have a house there. However, if you can at all reroute away from Manchester to be on the safe side, if you can get from Liverpool to Edinburgh without going there, that would be the best thing to do. But I would think you would be okay, but do check with whoever you're travelling with ahead of time, as they'll definitely know a lot more on this than I will.
Thanks, Phil. 0345 6060 973 if you have a question for Mike, Phil or Dan. There is still time to get your question answered, and this very complicated and ever-changing business